So let's talk about height. I seriously think height is severely overrated. And I'll explain why. A lot of guys think that they're fucked because they're not 6 foot. They may be like 5'7", 5'8", and they think they're screwed. They think they have no chance with women and that they're never going to find the woman that they truly, truly want. In reality, height isn't really the actual problem if you think about it. I'm like 5'11", so I'm not a short guy. I'm barely 6 foot, but I'm still not short. But I still don't care about height because I know it's not really that important. Sure, women are going to externally, at first glance, look at your height. That's just what they're going to do. Because the first thing they see is your body. So that's going to be the first thing that pulls their eye and their attention. However, if you are a great man, a man of wealth, a man of status, you've achieved things, you have a lot of things going for you, and she knows that, then she's not going to care about the height. It's not going to be one of those things that is a deal breaker for her, right? Of course, it's more difficult to get your foot in the door if you are not tall, if you're not good looking and all these things. The height does help you get your foot in the door and get the attention initially. Can't help, most definitely. However, once she finds out what kind of man you are, if you are that kind of man, then she's not going to care about the height. So let's just take specific examples in real life to make this make more sense. Let's look at people like Lewis Hamilton, Justin Bieber, Conor McGregor. They're all not tall men. They're all around 175 centimeters, 175 centimeters. So they're not tall. They're around 5'8", somewhere around that range. But they still have a lot of women lusting over them, simping over them. Why? Because they are great men. They've achieved great things in their respective field. Lewis Hamilton is arguably the greatest Formula One driver of all time. Justin Bieber is one of the greatest artists living at the moment. He has an amazing voice. He has great music. And Conor McGregor is one of the greatest fighters that has ever done it. He's the only fighter ever, to my recollection at least, that has held 2 belts at the same time, simultaneously. He never defended both belts, but he still held them at the same time. I don't think anyone else has ever done that, if I'm not mistaken. So any MMA fans, correct me. I know a lot of other guys have won 2 belts, such as Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier, but no one has held them simultaneously. But that's besides the point, right? What I'm trying to say is, women do not really care about Conor McGregor's height. They don't care about Lewis Hamilton's height. They don't care about Justin Bieber's height. You have millions of women all around the world simping over these men, especially Justin Bieber and Lewis Hamilton. And why is this the case? Because height is overrated. Sure, height is preferred in women, but that is only to compensate if you lack in other areas in life. If you lack in the financial areas and the status, the overall wealth, and what kind of man you are, and what kind of respect you have from your peers and everyone around you, what kind of value you contribute to the world, then height is going to be that thing that can compensate for it. If you're tall, then a lot of women may look past your other shortcomings because you have height. But if you don't have height and you have all the other things that actually matter, women are not going to give a fuck about the height. They don't care. It doesn't matter because it really is not that important. I'm telling you, it's not that important. I know this and I don't give a shit about the height. Like it just doesn't matter. Sure, I'm not a short guy, but even if I was 175 and shorter, I would do everything in my power to become a great man, to become the greatest man that I can become. And I know as a result, I'd increase my chances of finding the best kind of woman for me. Obviously you're not like, you're going to have a harder time with not having the height. But if you're able to build all the other areas of your life, then what happens is you put yourself in a position where height will not matter. So height is severely overrated. Don't wear shoes that like have a thicker sole just to like increase your height. And don't even consider doing these height surgeries. I've seen a lot of guys do them on social media. it just looks so bad. The way they walk after the surgery, it just looks absolutely abnormal. And imagine doing that to your body, mutilating your own body just to gain a few centimeters. Don't do that. It's self-abuse, and it's just not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Don't do it. Focus on improving yourself as a man, and you will make up for the lack of height. Because women, at the end of the day, if you're that kind of man, they will not care. You think they give a shit when they see someone like Conor McGregor, Lewis Hamilton, Justin Bieber, and they're like, oh, he's all these things, but he's not tall. They don't care. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Just get your money right, get your fitness right, become a good fighter, become a provider, become a protector, become a great man, a man of wisdom, like a man that people looks up to, a leader, and then height will not matter. That's it. The only men, in my opinion, who care about height are the ones that are too lazy to take care of all the other areas in their lives. So they obsess over height because they don't have all the other things that I just mentioned, and they're too lazy to pursue these things because they're hard to achieve. But these are the things that actually matter, not your fucking height. You can't even control your height to begin with. So if you're 175 or shorter, who gives a shit? You can't control that. Leave it alone. It is what it is. Leave it. Focus on what you can actually control, which is your money, your fitness, things that make you actually better and actually improve your life. Focus on what you can control and not what you can't control, because it's a meaningless metric. You may think it's meaningful and important to be tall. It really isn't that important. It's very, very overrated. You can still be a great fucking man without the height. You don't need to be fucking 6'5" or 6'2" or whatever is preferred by women. It's going to help you if you're tall and succeed. However, what's most important is that you succeed, that you become the best man possible. That's what's going to help you the most. The height, sure, if you have that as well, it's a bonus. But that's not what you should put your focus on, because you can't change it anyways. And that's just how it is. So leave that shit alone. Focus on improving yourself. Understand height is severely overrated. Look at men that have become great in their respective field. Short men as well, and understand that women that are attracted to these kinds of men do not care about their height. And let's take a final example. Let's take Tom Cruise. He's not a tall guy either. You think he's struggling with, pulling women? Absolutely not. He's old and he's short. But still, I would argue he's probably able to pull a lot of women with ease. No fucking problem. Because he's great at what he does. And that's what you should take away from this. Become that kind of man, and you will never have to worry about something like height. Because it really doesn't matter as much as you think. It's just in your head, and it's just a social construct that society has painted up. Let's look at women caring about height. They're so hell-bent on you being 6 foot. Hold on a second, just have to take a sip. They're so hell-bent on you being 6 foot. But if you're a 5'10", 5'11" guy, and you tell them you're 6 foot, they won't know the difference. It's just that number they're fixated on. That doesn't fucking matter. If you're 5'11", 5'10", you say you're 6 foot, they won't tell the difference. They won't be able to tell the difference. It really doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Like, it's just something they've made up in their head that it actually matters. So leave that shit alone. It's completely meaningless. Become the kind of man that you need to be, and you'll understand very quickly that height doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's it for me, guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.